turns out as an institution has made no progress securing for Kenyans what they sought. The same issues that Kenyans faced in 1992 when it held its first multi-party elections still hound us. And let us hope that the new electoral commission that we put in place is going to make a difference. Confidence in the commission remains extremely low. Election officials and the processes remain some of the most distracted and divisive in Kenya. Our elections are some of the most expensive in the world. That is, the cost of per ballot is much higher, 5 times it is in the United States. It never seems to matter how many times we turn over the commissioners or election technology. The doubts remain while the costs get higher. I want to hope that the latest version of IBC will tame the tide against the negativity and doubts that surround the institution. The Director of Public Prosecutions was also a new and exciting creation of the new Constitution. It has largely failed to deliver on the high expectations of Kenyans. Just 1 year before we promulgated the new Constitution, in 2009, Attorney General of Kenya was described by a special rapporteur of the United Nations as the embodiment in Kenya of the phenomenon of impunity. That description remains accurately descriptive of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions in Kenya today. However much some of the institutions that came with the new constitution have lived below expectations, as a nation, we are in a better place and more hopeful than we were before 2010. And as we work to perfect the areas in which the Constitution is struggling, we also need to take a fresh look at parts of the Constitution whose implementation have been problematic. For instance, Article 1 of the Constitution tells us that the people may exercise their sovereign power either directly or through their democratically elected representatives. Kenyans seem to know how to exercise sovereignty through their elected representatives. You know, you go to the ballot, you elect your MCA, you elect your MP, your women rep, your senator, governor, your president. There is zero clarity, however, on how to exercise sovereignty directly to achieve desired results. How do 55 million people exercise direct sovereignty? That's a question for the lawyers. Secondly, I believe the time has come for the country to relook the whole issue of devolution. Kenya, in my view, is too tiny for 47 devolved units. We are just 5 short of the United States, which is a continent. Nigeria, with over 200 million people, has got 34 plus Abuja. South Africa has got 9 provinces. I won't advocate for abolition of any county, but I believe we are ripe for a 3-tier system that has county, regional, and national governments. I believe the articles introduced in the Constitution to strengthen the provincial administration need to be reviewed with a view to abolishing the system. This was an issue at Bomas of Kenya, the provincial administration. And we said it was a relic of colonialism that has no place in independent Kenya, yet we seem to be reviving it. We equally need a review of all the laws that create national institutions and funds for functions better performed by county governments. We are not opposed to implementing projects at the constituency, But under this constitution, constituency is not a devolved unit. The evolution has two levels, national and county levels. It is not right for the national government to jump the county government and create another unit below the county government where you call it NG. It is not necessary. Work through the county government. The money that you are giving to the people to go and implement projects at the constituency, give it to the counties. The county be the ones implementing. And let Parliament do what is constitutionally mandated to do. Representation, legislation, and oversight. Because if you are yourself a contractor and you are a member of Parliament, who is oversighting you? I've said this amendment that you brought to the Parliament, bring it there, but let us take it to the people. Let us take it to a referendum and test if the people will accept it. Let us check if the people will accept that members of Parliament can be oversighting and also implementing at the same time. Over this, there's no compromise. Tunaenda kwa wananchi. So, Your Excellency, I know that this particular stand is making me very unpopular, but I just don't care. I will stand my stand. I will stand my ground on this particular issue. With those many remarks, thank you very much. Happy Katiba Day.
Celebrations. Welcome, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Please, let's take our seats. Your Excellencies, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. When I reflected the former Prime Minister, we were members of the Parliamentary Select Committee that midwifed the constitution-making process. At some point, he was chair. At some point, I was chair. But we all participated in this journey. And as I reflected on our journey towards a new constitution, I was reminded in my conscience that when we got a new constitution, we seemed to have said, we are done with matters constitution. And that is why I decided that maybe it is time. It may be 15 years down the road, but it's never too late to do the right thing. And that is why I signed a proclamation for us to celebrate this day the day that we promulgated a new constitution as Katiba Day. And I want to thank all of you for honoring my invitation so that we can do this together. As I reflected on how this should be done, I also was informed by the journey. What we discussed during the constitution-making process is that we had too many holidays. That was actually one of the problems we had, and that is why there was an attempt by the new constitution to consolidate national holidays, that there were too many. And so it was the reason why I also thought, in the spirit of this constitution, we should not make this a national holiday where there is no work. And partly why I thought maybe we should have this occasion in the afternoon so that people can work in the morning. It was my thinking. But maybe we can refine that as we go forward. But the Constitution of Kenya 2010 was born out of people's deepest desire for justice, inclusivity, and dignity. We longed for a country where power belongs to the people, where no Kenyan is left behind, and where rights and freedoms are guaranteed for all. Today, on the 15th anniversary of the enactment of the Constitution, we celebrate Katiba Day to honor the covenant and to renew our fidelity to its vision. This Constitution is acclaimed across the world as one of the most progressive and transformative. It is our solemn duty to preserve it, protect it, and to ensure its full implementation. Ladies and gentlemen, our Constitution was born out of hard and painful lessons. The tragic events, for example, of 2007-2008 remind us how far our nation could descend when institutions fail, when resources are hoarded by a few, and when divisions are cynically exploited. From that moment of crisis, we made a solemn resolve